So I just had somebody ask, how do you prevent a heart attack? So I said to them, that's too long of an answer, to type out in a comment. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put it together a video. So here's what I've learned in the last year and a half since I've had a heart attack, most of which I've learned in about the last 14 months. And here's how it goes. The main contributors, from what I've learned, the main contributors to a heart attack or coronary artery disease is going to be the major factor. It's called insulin resistance. It's not cholesterol, although cholesterol has a pretty good deal, to do with it. This is insulin resistance is when your insulin receptors inside of your body go haywire, and then it causes inflammation throughout your body. It causes your liver to not function properly, your pancreas to not function properly, and it goes on down the line. And this is something that we build up in our system over the years. I'm pushing 59 years old. I had the heart attack when I was 57, and by the grace of God, I'm clear now. But I'm not clear to go back to the lifestyle that I used to live, the way that I used to eat, and the stress that I was involved with. So I'm going to say it starts out with the standard American diet. We eat horribly in America. We eat processed food that we find in the center of the grocery store in the center aisles. Anything that has been made with bleached white flour and enriched flour, all that stuff. Anything that's been made with hydrogenated, whatever, oils, vegetable oil, canola oil, those kind of things. That stuff is all like poison. So my issue started with my horrible diet. The number of net grams of carbohydrates that I was eating a day, and the amount of simple carbohydrates, foods that are high on the glycemic index. If you ever want to try to figure out, hey, what foods can I eat that are safe on the glycemic index, just Google it. Just Google the apples that I eat now are they're organic Gala apples. Where are they on the glycemic index? You just type it into Google, and man, it pops right up. I think they're like number 45, which is good. It's fine. So that means that the food that you eat doesn't turn into sugar in your blood really fast and cause your insulin to spike, which causes damage to your arteries. When you constantly have insulin spikes, your body becomes insulin resistant. When you eat a lot of saturated fats, your body becomes insulin resistant. And so that's where I was. Now, another key factor is stress. When you put stress on your system, it actually causes your arteries around your heart to become brittle. And especially the inner lining, I think it's called the endothelium, becomes very brittle. And you can get that from stress, your body producing cortisol more than it should be, adrenaline more than it should be, which comes from stress and anxiety and anger. You can also cause that from excessive amount of alcohol. If you have an excessive amount of alcohol on a regular basis, your body produces cortisol, which again causes your endothelium, the inner lining of your arterial walls, the inner wall, to crack. And what happens is when that inner wall cracks, then you have a couple things that love to get into those cracks. I hope you could hear this, it's pretty windy. There's a couple things that really like to get into those cracks in your arterial walls, and they collect and collect and collect for years to close in that inner lining until it pinches off completely and becomes 100% occluded, which I had out of 3 of the major arteries around my, my heart. 2 of them were completely 100% occluded. So the things that get into these cracks, and by the way, the name for that is atherosclerosis. When these couple things get in there, like I said, it closes it down. So what are these couple things? These couple things are LDL cholesterol and calcium deposits. So not all LDL cholesterol gets in there. It's the small, damaged, oxidated LDL cholesterol that actually gets inside of your penetrates through the arterial walls in those cracks. How does your LDL cholesterol become small and oxidated, small, damaged? Well, it comes from what I started out this video talking about, insulin resistance. It comes from eating sugar, especially refined sugar, that Domino white sugar that you use so much of in your cakes and your pies, and high fructose corn syrup that you get in most of your sodas, your barbecue sauces, a lot of stuff that has high fructose corn syrup. It's cheaper than sugar and easier to use. So that's in a lot of stuff. That sugar is very high on the glycemic index, but the white flour, stuff made with white flour, your breads, your pastas, your cereals, your breakfast cereals, like the breakfast cereal that they say lowers your cholesterol. It's a lie. It does not lower your cholesterol. It lowers your cholesterol more than eating donuts. And it doesn't lower your cholesterol. It does less damage than eating donuts and cakes and pies and biscuits and gravy. But it's still bad for you. It still damages your LDL cholesterol. So yeah, you've got triglycerides, you've got LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. Your HDL cholesterol is what they call good cholesterol. They call the LDL cholesterol bad. It's not bad. Your whole body is made of it. You need LDL cholesterol. And this whole thing where they try to brainwash, where Big Pharma has brainwashed the entire cardiology department with this whole, you got to get rid of all the LDL cholesterol. They're making people unhealthy. You need LDL cholesterol. So it's, again, you don't want the damaged LDL cholesterol. So listen, when you go to, just put this in there right now because I'm thinking about it. When you go to a cardiologist or to your family doctor or whatever and say, they want to do a blood test on you, it's called a lipid profile. Tell them you want the advanced lipid profile, because just seeing what your triglycerides, your LDL cholesterol, and your HDL cholesterol are, that's not enough. That's just barely scraping the surface. What you want to know is the number of small damaged LDL cholesterol. You want to know what your LDL cholesterol size is. The size you want to be above, I believe they call it a 20.5. At one point last year, mine was a 21.6. That's fantastic. You want to know what your insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity number is. Anything greater than the number 40 means you have trouble, means you have inflammation in your body, means that your body is insulin resistant. And that's, honestly, it's not that hard to turn that around. Take a good brisk walk 3 times a week for about a half hour, 35 minutes. Take a nice brisk walk. I go 3 miles when I go out. I go 3 miles a day, typically. And I do that 3 to 4 times a week. It's not always easy to get in when you have a full-time job. It's hard for me to do when I'm working, on the days that I work. It's very hard for me to do. So now that it's warming up, it's easier because I can get out early in the morning. I don't like it now when it's 30 degrees outside and going for a walk. It's not comfortable, it's not fun. But taking a good walk or even a light jog, or what I've been doing is mixing it, walking, and then I'll do a light jog. I'll put that in there, jog for about 100 yards here and there a few times while I'm walking. You'd be amazed at how it will turn your numbers around exercising like that. It will raise your HDL, which you want. You want your HDL to be up in the 60s. It'll lower your LDL, especially the damaged LDL. It'll keep the LDL cholesterol that you have healthy. You're looking to be in what they call lipoprotein A. It helps your triglyceride numbers to be at a healthy number. It also lowers insulin resistance. Go figure. So taking a walk a few times a week is very important for you. It just is. It's how our body works. We need to exercise. We cannot sit around. But you will never exercise, no amount of exercise ever will overcome a bad diet. A poor diet cannot be overcome by exercise. It can't. So again, I'll tell you what I eat during the day, what I think is a good healthy meal. There's a lot of people out there who say don't eat a lot of cholesterol. There's also a lot of studies that have proven that dietary cholesterol does not stay in your system long and does not affect your fasting cholesterol numbers. Your body itself, your liver it makes cholesterol. So if you don't have enough cholesterol in your body, your liver will make it. If you have too much cholesterol in your body, your liver doesn't have to make it. It just kind of hangs out, I guess. It just does its other stuff, takes care of its other chores. But regardless, the new studies, and I'm not a doctor, so do your own research. By all means, do your own research. But the new studies show that dietary cholesterol, like shrimp and eggs are high in cholesterol. I eat 3 whole eggs, free range. I always eat free range eggs. 3 whole eggs plus 2 egg whites, so it's 5 total, every morning. And I put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in the pan. That's how I do it. And my cholesterol is healthy. So that's what I do. Every morning, I have 3 egg yolks. And some mornings I will eat an avocado with my breakfast, with my eggs. And I will also eat a couple, the smaller pieces of Canadian bacon, basically ham. I like to check and make sure that is nitrate free. It doesn't have any nasty preservatives or anything like that in it. So yeah, that's my breakfast. It's pretty big. And there are other days where I'll eat my 5 eggs, 3 whole, 3 yolks, and I will eat a bowl of steel cut oatmeal. I kind of flip flop. The steel cut oatmeal has prebiotics in it. It's good for your gut as long as you cook it properly. The steel cut oatmeal is low on the glycemic index. It does not turn to sugar. It will not cause, or it doesn't turn to sugar quickly. It won't cause your blood to spike. It won't have your blood sugars to spike, and it won't cause insulin spikes. So I eat that. I use a 1/4 cup dry. Follow the directions. I cook it for almost 20 minutes on a low simmer until it gets to the consistency that I want. Always over 15 to 17 minutes. And then I put a handful of blueberries in the bowl because blueberries are very good for you. Sometimes organic strawberries. I eat organic berries. So we do it that way. And I will put a teaspoon of local honey in that to sweeten it up a little bit. Plus the honey's good for you. And I'll sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top of it because the cinnamon's good for you. It's anti-inflammatory. So yeah, I go through a lot to eat a decent breakfast. But I think it's very important. If you need to get up earlier in the morning to eat it, get up earlier in the morning. If that means you need to go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock, go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Just, it's called discipline. So, and it doesn't take long to build a habit of behavior that way. Boy, it's really gotten windy. I hope it's okay. So, lunch. Look at my YouTube shorts, go on my Facebook page, you will see that every day, a good 355 days a year, I make a massive salad. And that massive salad consists of nice dark greens. I grow my own broccoli and radish sprouts. I grow them for about 6 days. They go on that salad. I have a decent sized clove of garlic that I mash up, dice up, and put in that salad. And then it's just, carrots, cherry tomatoes. If I didn't eat an avocado for breakfast, then there's an avocado going in there. There are days that I eat a can of sardines with it. And a little gorgonzola cheese, not much. And then I make my vinaigrette, my olive oil vinaigrette dressing. And the sun made it up over there. Where I will use about 3 tablespoons to 4 tablespoons of first cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. And I put about a teaspoon of organic balsamic vinegar. And I mix that up until it emulsifies and dump that over the salad. It's a good salad. And it's so daggone good for you. It's incredible how good it is for you. I won't get into all the medical, the technical terms of everything that's in it. If you want to look it up, you can. But that's what I eat for lunch. Snack throughout the day, got some walnuts, some pistachios, maybe a piece or 2 of, small pieces of cheddar cheese. I drink kombucha because kombucha has probiotics in it that heals your gut as well, which is very important to have a healthy gut, which sugar and stuff that's high on a glycemic index destroys your gut lining. Another big problem. And then for dinner, typically it is either chicken or salmon. And there are times where I will have a ribeye steak, grass-fed, grass-finished, 100% grass-fed beef. I will have steak. There's times that I have some brisket, beef brisket, but mind you, those things are high in saturated fat, so I limit I limit myself to only having, red meat maybe once a week. It's good for you, but it has to be done in moderation. Has to be, because too much saturated fat, if you're on a 2,500 calorie a day diet, which is healthy, then you're not supposed to exceed 25 grams of saturated fat in your diet. So a good ribeye steak will have 22 grams of saturated fat. And that means you can't eat any other saturated fat throughout the whole rest of the day, and that's really hard to do. So that's why I only do that. A ribeye, it might be once a month, it might be once every 2 months to do that, but typically I'm eating chicken, and I will smoke it. I'll cook it on the grill, I'll smoke it, and I really don't care. I don't care about the big to do about carcinogens with that. The way I see it, well, the research that they've done, my take on it, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, thank goodness. My take on it is that if you only eat smoked meats, 1 to 2 meals a week, and your body is healthy, your body will fight off free radicals, carcinogens, and things like that. If you have a healthy gut, if you have healthy arteries, healthy liver, your body can handle a meal cooked over an open fire a couple times a week. It's just how I believe. I will have a glass of red wine. Red wine has resveratrol in it. Red wine increases HDL and decreases the bad LDL, lowers triglycerides. 1 glass to 2 glasses a day for men. That's it. It's not good if you exceed that, because, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you where it hurt me. If I have, say, 3 or 4 glasses of wine, spread it out through the afternoon, because I do not get drunk. If I have a glass of wine at lunch, and then another one at 2 o'clock, and another one at 4 o'clock, and another one, with my dinner, it will wake me up. It causes your body to produce some sort of chemical, where in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, your body will produce cortisol, and it will wake you up and ruin your night's sleep. I've experienced that quite a few times throughout my life, and now just learned and understand why you can't do that. So now I sleep through the night. I might wake up once in the middle of the night. So if I were to boil it down, what prevents a heart attack? Number 1, get rid of the stress. If you have stress in your life, figure it out. Find a way not to have stress in your life. If it means you can't have as big a house and as pretty a vehicle, so be it. What good is it to have a big, beautiful house and an $80,000 vehicle if you have to live filled with stress and anxiety, and it kills you? Or worse yet, causes you to become dependent upon others that have to take care of you for years and years. So 1, get rid of the stress. 2, keep your saturated fats at a decent level, 25 grams or less a day. 3, very important, keep your net grams of carbohydrates. It's not hard to do. Just write out your menu for the day one time, see what you've eaten. But you want to keep your net grams of carbohydrates down to 100 grams of net carbs a day. It's not going to hurt you. Overall carbs minus the grams of fiber. Very simple to figure out. If you're eating something that has 10 grams of carbohydrates but it has also 10 grams of fiber, then you only have 5 net grams of carbohydrates in that certain thing that you're eating. So you want to keep them down to 100. I try to keep mine down to like 70. I just do. No simple carbohydrates. Stay away from the starchy carbohydrates the best you can. That's what causes insulin resistance. Stuff that spikes your sugar, spikes your insulin. Again, sugars, donuts, pancakes, biscuits and gravy, mixed drinks filled with sugar. Yes, margaritas. Sorry. Just all that kind of stuff. Look it up. Keep your insulin at bay. Trust me, your body will thank you. What else? Yeah. Get a decent amount of green vegetables in your diet. My dinner, along with the meat that I have, many times I will have squash. I love summer squash. I will saute up in a frying pan summer squash with some mushrooms and garlic. Fantastic. Fantastic. That'll be the majority of my meal. I'll have that and a 6-ounce, 5 to 6 ounce piece of chicken breast that I've did, either in a pan with olive oil, and I'll dice it up because it usually comes out better, because it's hard to keep a chicken breast from getting dried out. But I'll also do it on the grill. But there's certain things I do to keep it from getting all dried out and nasty. It involves olive oil, and you definitely don't want to overcook it. Get yourself a good food thermometer. You do not need to take a chicken above 160 degrees. Look it up, USDA, 160 degrees. Actually, for a certain amount of time, like a minute, if you have something that holds at 160 degrees for 1 minute, kills all bacteria. So, but do your own research. This is on you. If you don't want food poisoning, you do what you want. But I take mine off at 160 degrees and then let it rest. Let it rest for 15 minutes before cutting into it. Very good, tender, moist chicken, and we try our best to use organic, free-range chicken. That's another thing. If you're eating meat that is grain-fed, it will be it'll be higher in omega-6s. You want your omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. I should have brought that up a long time ago. You want your omega-6 and your omega-3 fatty acids, you want them to stay at as close to a 1-to-1 ratio as you can. If you eat a grain-fed piece of steak, you're going to be more like 13 to 15 to 1. You'll have 15 omega-6 fatty acids to 1 omega-3 fatty acid. And that's not good. If you get a grass-fed piece of meat, 100% grass-fed, then it's more closer to 4-to-1, which is, it's healthy. That's 4-to-1 is okay. But you want as close to 1-to-1 as you can get. So if you eat a chicken breast that's grass-fed and it's 4-to-1, and then you also have an avocado with your meal. They say you're not supposed to eat more than one a day. That's what I eat, one a day. But you'll find that because the avocado just offsets things. Piece of salmon. Salmon is like way high on omega-3 fatty acids, way low on omega-6. So, it's just, these are the kind of things that you need to research and do for yourself. But what I can say is, if you're stuffing your face with pizza and beer and French fries, you will have a heart attack. I can almost promise you that, especially if you have a stressful job and a stressful marriage and a stressful, just lifestyle. It's going to catch up to you. It caught up to me. So there are a bunch of different things you can do to lower stress. There are a bunch of different things you can do to eat healthy. I would rather go hungry if I'm out and away from the house, and not near any good grocery stores where I can get a healthy snack. I will go hungry. I will, before I grab a donut. There are many days I want to grab a couple donuts and a cup of coffee in the afternoon, because that's what I did for most of my life. And I won't do it. A cup of coffee's okay. Black coffee's fine. But those couple donuts, I don't think my body could take it anymore. I think I'd go into sugar shock. I don't know. One of the things I had to give up, one of my favorite things, ice cream. I love ice cream. Even the keto ice cream, I had to give that up. Keto ice cream has 13 grams of saturated fat. It's causing my body to become insulin resistant. Regular ice cream has all the saturated fat and an insane amount of sugar. Insane amount of sugar. Things that if you don't want to have a heart attack, if you don't want diabetes, stroke, cancer, because all this stuff comes from inflammation in your body, all of it. I won't say all cancers come from that, but there's a lot of cancer that, the majority of cancer comes from inflammation in your body. There's cancer that comes, from genetics. There's cancer that comes from pesticides and just different things, house cleaning chemicals and all that stuff that gets into your system and messes you up. But for the main part, it's insulin resistance. It's inflammation in your body that causes cancer. So a stroke is basically where you've had, if I believe I'm right on this, atherosclerosis, where you have that artery, I think it's usually in the carotid arteries, where you have a blockage in those arteries, and that blockage, a piece breaks free from it that has built up in that inner wall and worked its way to the outside or whatever, and that breaks free and travels to your brain, and you have stroke. In your heart, if that piece breaks, in your carotid artery, your coronary arteries, that piece breaks free and gets into your heart, that blood clot, whatever you want to call it, that clot breaks free, gets in your heart, you have a heart attack. I had a heart attack. So, summarize it: exercise, get away from the stress, eat right, and there you have it. There you are. You will be set free from the major part of having a heart attack. The main, stuff that you can do on your own to stop from having a heart attack. These are the things that I have found through the research that I've done. This is how I'm going to live the rest of my life. I'm going to keep exercising. I'm going to keep eating right. I'm going to get plenty of green, my vegetables, and enjoy life. And I'm going to hopefully be around to watch my grandchildren grow up, and possibly even my great-grandchildren, now that I've had bypass surgery and all that stuff, and it's all done with. But anyway, to the person who asked me this question, I thank you, because I needed to get one of these videos out. It's been a while since I put one of these out. So hopefully this will go out. I'm going to ask that you subscribe to this channel, give this thing a thumbs up, like the video, share it on your YouTube page, share it on your, if you want to share it on your YouTube page, God bless you, thank you. Share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, share this thing, and let it get out to the millions of people, because cholesterol is not the culprit. It's not about cholesterol. Cholesterol is the markers that you're in trouble. If you have high LDL cholesterol count, high triglycerides, then that's the marker. That's saying, hey, we've got an issue. Go into it deeper. Look at your, get a calcium score done. They're not even that expensive. Get a calcium score done. It'll tell you your risk for heart attack. Get in your blood tests, get your insulin resistance number, insulin sensitivity number. Get that done. That's definitely a marker. Find out the percentage of small LDL cholesterol. You want that to be below 500. I think 526 or something, whatever. I want mine down in the 200s to 100. Okay, that's where I want mine. That's what I'm going after. Those are the kind of things you want to look for. Is your body insulin resistant? Your cholesterol numbers will be the markers. They will tell you what's going on, to a point. But you have to learn, go deeper, and find out. Then you'll find out that, yeah, you need to change your lifestyle. Some of the good doctors to listen to that I listen to, Dr. Mark Hyman, I listen to him. I won't agree with him on the saturated fat issue. Saturated fats, you have to limit. And he might even say that. Dr. Sten Ekberg, Dr. Eric Berg, these guys all talk about, they're all keto guys. I'm not a keto fan. I'm not a fan of keto. I won't do it. However, low carb, high omega-3 fatty acids, that's me. I'm all over that. Lots of vegetables. They'll all three tell you, lots of vegetables. And the thing I like about Dr. Hyman, you need protein, but you need the right amount of protein. Don't overdo it with protein. So these are all, these are good guys to follow. But again, if they tell you don't worry about saturated fat, I'm going to go against that. I'll stand against them on that, because I just had tests done, and consuming a higher amount of saturated fats, my body became insulin resistant. From being in the single digits insulin sensitive to a number 46 insulin resistant. And my cholesterol numbers went for the worse. So I turned around and got rid of the keto ice cream, stopped eating so much cheese, and backed off on the red meat. Still eat it, but backed off on it to a healthy number, moderation. So anyway, God bless you all. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it on your Facebook page, share it in Instagram to your friends, talk about it, leave me comments, ask any questions you like, and I will try to get you the best answer I can. I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you what has worked for me. So God bless y'all. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.